The next big thing on the horizon for Diablo 4 is of course seasons, and we previously knew that Season 1 is coming in mid to late July. That was announced in a recent developer campfire livestream. However, we now have more specifics, including when Season 1 will be starting, which was revealed by Rod Ferguson on Twitter. A user asked when the announcement will be so that they can start planning their vacation leave, and Rod Ferguson, the franchise general manager of Diablo, replied announcing next week. This is further backed up by Adam Fletcher, the global community developer director, replying to another user on Twitter asking them when they can expect the next dev update or camp livestream, and Adam replied more news on that later this week. So it's really looking like another campfire livestream will probably be happening next week, which will offer us the release date for Season 1. We also have a bunch of details on the changes and tweaks and new things coming in the next big patch and for seasons, as well as some juicy behind the scenes details that will give us a better understanding of how things work in the game, where different quality of loot and gear comes from, and just general things that you'll want to know if you plan to play Diablo 4 Seasons. So if you want to know these juicy details, then let's get started with what will be included in Season 1 in Diablo. Here's a rundown of what you can expect. In Seasons, you're going to create a new character starting from level 1, so your Eternal Realm characters will not go into the season servers, and that's because a seasonal character will basically be on a standalone version of the game with other seasonal characters, with their own standalone bank stash, which is separate from Eternal. There will be a season-specific theme that will be announced probably in this next update, and within the season we can expect to get new loot that will be powerful and probably build-defining. Hopefully this will give us some good variety and freshness to the gameplay and our classes. Seasons are expected to last roughly 3 months long, so that's how long you have to level up and get the gear, and once this period of time ends, the seasonal characters will become Eternal Realm characters. So you're not going to lose your characters that you already have, and you're not going to lose the characters you make in Seasons. But you might be wondering what exactly carries over in case you haven't been keeping up to speed. If you've already finished the campaign, then you will be able to skip the campaign on your seasonal characters. And in terms of your renown, the maps Fog of War and your Shrines of Lilith will carry over, and that means you will get the stats from those Shrines of Lilith, so that'll be a good early game boost. If you've completed all of the map Fog of War and got every Shrine of Lilith, you can expect to have around the first 2 renown reward levels per zone. Other tasks like side quests, strongholds, and dungeons will need to be redone, and that's where you will make up the rest of the renown levels. Along with Seasons will also come the Season Journey, which has chapters in it that will basically act as our guide to track seasonal objectives that give us various rewards, including legendary aspects and caches. So think of this like a journal with different quests and tasks that you're going to want to complete in the season. On top of this, the Battle Pass will come with Seasons, and it's estimated that it will take around 80 hours to complete, and this is actually more than other games such as Warzone and Overwatch, which take around 50 hours. The good news is there's meant to be no pay-to-win aspects on the Battle Pass, and there is a free version. This will be leveled up by gaining favor, which you get by completing various objectives that apparently include things like strongholds, dungeons, and side quests. But along with this will come the Smoldering Ashes system that's tied to the Battle Pass. This system is a new currency that we will gain by completing levels in the free part of the Battle Pass. This currency of Smoldering Ashes can then be used to trade for blessings that will boost our XP gain from monster kills, our gold earned, our vendor sale amount, and get more materials when salvaging gear, and increase the duration of our elixirs. Overall, this is meant to be a system that will ease the grind relating to getting more experience, materials, and gold. If you've already leveled up a few characters, the idea of leveling up another one from level 1 in Seasons might be a bit overwhelming, but systems like this are here to basically smooth that over for us. Outside of this, we also know from the last patch that the next one will come with an increased amount of mob density and elite mob density, which is what a lot of players have been wanting since experiencing those dungeons that had tons of elite groups in them, which gave loads of drops in XP. Of course, they have since been hotfixed, but having enemies spread out in a dungeon just isn't as fun as wiping out waves of dense mobs, and of course the XP and loot is more efficient in that as well. So we can expect this change to come in early Season 1, and that's something to look out for and that they're aware of. Also, after the recent class buffs, many people have been feeling a little lackluster since these buffs didn't really make meaningful big changes for our classes and the issues that people have with them. It's good to know that the developers are aware of these issues such as build parity, and in their own words, they're heavily monitoring discussion based on this topic. So hopefully the next set of balance changes will address these issues, with certain classes and their build diversity being very limited in higher level content. Another upcoming interesting change is the type of loot you get in World Tier 4. As you may know, upgrading to World Tier 4 allows Ancestrals to start dropping that offer a big bump in item power, which level up your substats quite a bit. Well, in World Tier 4, Sacreds are still dropping abundantly, while Ancestrals are more uncommon or rare in comparison. A user asked Adam Fletcher about this on Twitter, and now basically we have confirmation that they are going to adjust this by Season 1. So it's not too long to wait, and if you're yet to get to World Tier 4 to farm Ancestrals, this will make your life so much easier, as being fully kitted out in Ancestrals is a big power bump. On a slightly different note, I just wanted to highlight a really awesome Reddit post that offers some really good insights into farming sellers in the game. User Mr. Frodo Beggins tested 1,270 sellers over a 3-day period and recorded all of their findings. What an absolute MVP. From their testing, which included between 230 to 290 sellers across the Fractured Peaks, the Dry Steppes, Skosglen, Kegistan, and Howitzer, they counted their Opals, XP, Gold, Legendaries, and Uniques, and even Treasure Goblins and Butcher encounters, and it's actually quite interesting seeing all of the stats. But the overall conclusion is that sellers just kind of suck to farm specifically. They don't yield as much XP or loot as more efficient activities compared to the time spent doing the sellers. But he does say they are good for getting materials since you are running from seller to seller anyway. However, I would be very interested to see the results of doing sellers by resetting instances instead of running from one to another. In the early game, farming sellers next to world events was a very efficient farm to run between the two back to back. But it seems safe to say that at high levels, it's not worth targeting sellers specifically. So tell us if you found any interesting facts or things from your farming and testing. Then we can all learn together as a community. And the 2 videos on screen now, we think you'll really enjoy if you did enjoy this one. You don't have to watch them if you don't want to, but if you did like this video, you're probably gonna like these ones too. And then tell us what you think after watching in the comments down below.